Hello, everyone, and welcome. I was talking for about 5 minutes, and I didn't realize that I didn't push the go live button. Oh my god, shame on me. Anyway, I just noticed it. So, welcome to Coffee with Cannon. And sometimes I have to decide: is this Coffee with Cannon? This place off the cuff, real crime stories. This is definitely Coffee with Cannon. I'm see a bunch of you guys in the chat. So glad to see all you guys here. I want to say, wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Santa Elise Hoth Johnson, thank you so much for the $30 super sticker. We really appreciate all the support we get. You guys are also members of our YouTube membership. That's so fantastic. I see the green font. Kathy Bates is out there. Maui Swift, a huge supporter of Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories, as well as Coffee with Cannon. Happy Saturday morning, everyone. Where's all my Great Britain people and the Irish people? I'm not seeing you yet, but I just got sent from Factual Breakdown. She sent me this coffee mug from. It's hard to line it up. That's from the Gabby Cabby, and it's hard for me to. There we go, Andy the Gabby Cabby, and on the other side, it's sort of funny too. It says Toodaloo. I love that Toodaloo. Anyway, Andy the Gabby Cabby is coming on December 22nd. So it's a good thing that I got his that I did get his mug, I don't know why got a little fogged up there in the picture. Is everything looking all right to you guys? Um, Let me get on a couple of pictures first and then uh back on. There you go. I don't know. It seems like maybe I got too close to the camera. It got a little bit foggy. But so how's everyone doing in this Saturday morning? I took a spin class today, so I try to do that. It's a little foggy, Lou. I think I got too close to the camera, and it may have fogged up the lens a bit. Let me see if I can just wipe off that lens. Any better? A little better there. Uh, a little foggy. Sorry, a little cloudy. Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you. I don't know how I got too close to the lens, I think. Uh, let me put a picture up. We're hearing a lot about more to the Alec Baldwin story. I'm gonna put that there and let me see if maybe I get that off. Got a little foggy there. Yeah, it's still looking a little foggy. Let me push this down a little bit. This a little bit. Okay. I don't know exactly what occurred, but I so he it turns out that the powers that be now want they're serving a search warrant on Alec Baldwin's phone. And to me, that must mean that they're considering could be the glare from the sun. I could take the I could turn off this. Let me see something there. You're right. I think it got a little bit better the sun, but I could that could mean to me that they're potentially looking at criminal charges on him. I mean, it seems this occurred in October. It's a sort of a long time to consider. Like, why didn't they get a search warrant for his phone earlier? I mean, I think that's a little strange. But I'm going to show a little bit. We'll play a little bit on the screen of them wanting to do a search warrant on his phone, and it can, as I said, it can only mean, I believe, that they're considering criminal charges against him. So let's see what we can do here. We'll put it on the screen. We'll play a little bit.
Investigating the shooting death of a film crew member on a movie set have now obtained a search warrant for the cell phone belonging to Alec Baldwin. The actor was holding the gun that fired the fatal shot, which also injured the movie's director. Again, breaking within the past few minutes, correspondent Matt Finn is in Los Angeles. Good evening, Matt.
Good evening, Brett. This afternoon, the Santa Fe sheriff was granted a warrant to seize and search Alec Baldwin's cell phone. Court documents reveal investigators will download a digital copy of Alec Baldwin's phone believed to be an iPhone. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office is seeking more information in relation to the shooting death of Helena Hutchins. Hutchins was the director of photography on the New Mexico set of the Western film Rust, starring Alec Baldwin. Hutchins was shot and killed in October by Baldwin when he fired a gun believed to be a cold prop gun. In a television interview, Baldwin has since denied pulling the trigger. No one has formally been charged. The Santa Fe County District Attorney has not ruled out criminal charges in this case. The film's director was also shot in the shoulder, but he has recovered.
So there you go. I mean, what could that mean other than potentially criminal charges for Alec Baldwin? And the thing that that they'll get all kinds of text messages. He was texting people before, uh, before and after. What kind of text messages did he send to Halna Hutchins? Maybe days before. I mean, they're sort of making this, it seems, into a bigger conspiracy than it is. But I mean, chances are, though, he may have told someone more of the truth on his phone than he's saying publicly. You know, Lincoln Clay, if someone killed my wife, accident or not, I'd absolutely hate them forever. Lincoln Clay, I think you're 100% correct. When he had talked about, being friends with her husband or commiserating with her husband or saying we're going through this together. No, I don't think you are going through this together. I think that, obviously he's going to be the subject of a rather large lawsuit. And, that's him on the screen is Halna Hutchins on the upper right and Joel Souza, who's the movie's director. And Alec Baldwin had also said something about, we were uh, really good friends. And, he called me. When you get shot by somebody, I don't think you're going to be friends anymore, whether it was an accident or not, because the fact that you were shot in the shoulder, you're going to be constantly reminded of that every day when you feel the pain in your shoulder. And, this was a 45 caliber uh, slug that hit him, well, projectile. I'll use the proper nomenclature because it seems that everyone that talks about this uses improper terminology in regards to the firearm. The movie people were calling the cylinder the drum. They were calling the rounds the bullets, and the proper term for that is projectile. So people in the crime scene, people like we had uh, John Palucci, he uses the correct nomenclature, and then people get a little bit bent out of shape when they use the incorrect terms, and people just don't understand what they're talking about. So is everyone looking forward to the holidays now that we spoke a little bit about Alec Baldwin? I'm sure he's not going to have a very good holiday. I was watching something the other day, and no doubt he has a bombastic personality. He's not. It doesn't seem like he's a nice guy, but the paparazzi really, really do bait him. I mean, I saw him. There was a video of him loading his van up with personal things from his family, his kids, bags of groceries and stuff like that. And this photographer kept like asking him questions. Oh, are you going to cooperate with the search warrant? Did you pull the trigger? Asking him stuff like that, which was obviously baiting him. And I thought that was a little over the top. But you could understand, as a human being, someone getting in your face, invading your personal space, sticking a camera in your face. I could understand why someone would get upset. Montana sunsets. Morning, Sergeant Bill from Montana. Big sky country, Montana. Beautiful, beautiful place, right? I've actually never been there, but I've seen pictures of it. Amazingly beautiful. Just unbelievable. Uh, I'm looking at some of the folks in the chat. Dawn Marie, thank you, Dawn Marie, for everything you do for us. Janine Goodwin, great to see you here. This is Kelly, Maui Swift, of course. Tommy Mayer, can I sing any Ronnie James? I don't know. Tell me a Ronnie James tune. Was it Ronnie James and the Shondells? Was that the tunes they used to do? So I don't know if you guys know. The other day I did 4 shows in one day. That was on a Thursday, and I didn't intentionally do 4 shows. What happened was I was doing a coffee with Canon, and I got hit with some, um, copyright thing while I was live on the air, and they, like, just shut it off, and that never happened to me, and all I was using like I just did before, I used a little bit of news clip, but it was from a 2020 presentation, and Disney, I guess, owns ABC, and Disney hit me with a copyright thing and just shut me off, and I was really worried thinking that, "Oh my god, they could take me off the air," because YouTube is can be very funny with certain things, and it turned out not to be like a copyright strike. It was just a copyright thing where they warned me I couldn't use it, and I just deleted all of that video portion from my video, and everything is cool now. But you got to really be careful when you're doing a lot of this YouTube stuff that you, and also with songs, you can't use certain songs that'll be all over you. Any songs that are copyrighted, unless you somehow get permission. That's Helena Hall, excuse me, Helena Hutchins and Mr. Halls, David Halls, who was the assistant director. Some of the things they're talking about now is they're going to try to find out, and that's one of the reasons they did a warrant on his cell phone. Who, in fact, handed him the gun? There's some discrepancies right now. Was it David Halls? Was it Ms. Gutierrez Reed, the armorer? And there's, I said earlier in this investigation that the first interviews are the most reliable. Factual breakdown. Thank you so much. She sent me some nice California Cabernet for myself and Phil, and some chocolates for my wife. And of course, the mugs for the Gabby Cabby, which I'm holding in my hand right there. You can't see his. I don't want to put it so close to the camera. Seems like it got fogged up before when I did that. But factual breakdown. Thank you so much for all you do, and thank you so much. What is this bill? Someone said give the Canon. I didn't see actual. I got to drive. Mike Champlin. I got to drive cross country twice. I went through Montana and Yellowstone. God bless this country. Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. Factual breakdown. That mystery maven really nice here today, wrapping gifts and baking cookies. Sheila, good afternoon. Finally catching a live. Great to see you, Sheila. All you guys that are members of the Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories YouTube family, thank you so much. Mystical Panda. Police Off the Cuff, not really looking forward to the holidays this year. Lost 5 family members to COVID this year. Grandparents, parents, and uncle. Mystical Panda, I'm so sorry for that. It's a horrible thing going through this. It's like it's not over with this Omicron thing now. It's like, when does this end? I feel, and I like a lot of other you guys feel, probably been like a prisoner in your house for almost, it's going into the 3rd year. So it's a solid 2 years. And it just seems like the end is not in sight. It's it's been going on for too long. And everyone, and of course, I feel so sorry that you lost family members, and lots of people lost family members. And it's it seems like a never ending virus, mutates into this now Omicron thing. I just went to my gym this morning, and they informed us. First of all, they asked to see my vaccination status, and starting on Monday, unless you're vaccinated, they're not going to let you in the gym. And then starting on Monday, you must wear a mask again inside the gym, even if you are vaccinated. So it does infringe upon our freedoms, but of course, it's no one wants to get this dreaded disease. But from what I understand, the Omicron variety isn't as bad as long as you've been vaccinated. And I have been vaccinated. I also got the booster. So, and I got the flu shot. So I feel like a pincushion. I've been stuck so many times in the last year. It's really crazy. What we've also been following on this channel, the Andrew Cuomo thing. And for you folks that have been you're outside New York, he was basically hailed as this unbelievable leader during COVID, when COVID was at its height. And he was going on TV every single day and speaking about how many people got it, how many people were in the hospital, how many people died from it, how many people, this was pre-vaccination. And during it, he was hailed as this great, great leader by, well, a lot of people in the mainstream media hailed him as this amazing leader. He was even being discussed as a candidate for vice president or president. And then he wrote a book during this time, uh, in which he was given a $5.1 million he made for it. And one of the problems was he was writing the book, or it's been shown that he was writing the book using state employees on state time, using state equipment, state everything, and that's against the law. So he was found to be unethical about that, and he has just been told to return the money. Let's see how that's going to wind up in court. I'm going to play a little bit of that, how Andrew Cuomo has been ordered to return the money from his book.
Governor Andrew Cuomo ordered to pay back all the proceeds he received from the sale of his pandemic memoir after a panel found the governor violated state ethics laws. Now, his lawyer says he'll take the fight to court. Eric Shawn is live with the details. Why does he have to give it back, Eric?
Well, he's got to give it back because they say he used state resources to pay for it. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo caused a firestorm, Dana, when it was revealed that he signed a book contract early in the COVID pandemic. Forget this, $5.1 million. Well, the New York State Ethics Watchdog, the Joint Commission on Public Ethics, has ruled that he did violate ethics laws by writing the book, American Crisis Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic. The commission did okay the book last year, but they say that Cuomo actually then illegally used government resources, aides and staff of the state government to help him write that book, and that is a no-no. Cuomo critic, Democratic Assemblyman Ron Kim, whose uncle died of COVID in a nursing home, told us that the former governor should face criminal charges.
It's criminal. There's no other way to describe it. It's a violation of public officers' law. It's also public fraud. You can't, especially when you're when you're sitting as a top level public official, the governor of New York, use your platform to promote wrong information to sell books.
Well, Cuomo put $1 million of the book proceeds into a blind trust for his daughters. And he also donated $500,000 of the advance, giving it to the charity The United Way. Cuomo spokesman reacted to this ruling, calling it, quote, a political hypocrisy and duplicity at its worst. And his lawyer says that if the commission does go through with this, he will fight it in court.
All right.
Dana?
Thank you, Eric.
I went on Brian.
So there it is. He's been ordered to return the money. Whether he will or not is another thing. I doubt he will. Well, I know he's going to fight it in court, absolutely. But how many folks think that what Governor Cuomo did was unethical? And if you think it's unethical, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it's criminal, put a 2 in the chat. I'd just like to see what your feelings on this. If you feel that it's fine for him to collect $5.1 million as he's working as a governor, put a 3. So 1 is if it's unethical, 2 if it's criminal, and 3 if it's okay. So I'm seeing a lot of seeing some 2s in there. So 2 being it's criminal, 1 that it's unethical. Montana Sunsets is 1 and 2. You have to cover both bases. So 1 and 2. Oh my God. Kimberly Myers 3, that he didn't do anything wrong. Wow. When I was a cop, if I could have wrote a book on duty and got $5 million, I think they would have definitely came after me. I don't know how I would have been able to do my job while writing a book at the same time. But somehow Governor Cuomo says he did that. Kathy Bates, 2, criminal. Janine Goodwin, 1 and 2. Robert Lewis, 2. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I find the most egregious with politicians, and both Democrat and Republican, is they have this ability to learn about insider information on stock trading, and they're not prohibited from trading stocks. So just think of like some of the laws that you're enacting. Definitely they affect the stock market, and you have that information before the laws are changed or when the laws are coming up, and it's almost like you can knowing the winner of a horse race before the race starts. And all of these politicians, Republican and Democrat, become multi-millionaires based on their service in Congress and the Senate because they're privy to all of this insider information that they're not precluded from um, buying stocks on. That's the number one thing that I think is corrupt in our government. Number two is term limits. I really feel that there should be term limits because, and I'm reasonable. Okay, Congress 12 years, Senate 12 years. After you've served 12 years, you're out. I don't want to see 95-year-old senators and congressmen, that have been there for 50 years. Joe Biden, 50 years he's been in government. I mean, you think he knows where the bodies are buried? I think those are some of the things that uh, Phoebe Beach. Don't they have to keep investments in a blind trust? I don't know enough about it, Phoebe. I just know that they are privy to insider information and they're not precluded from from buying stocks. I mean, that is definitely insider information. So, folks, this is Coffee with Cannon. I'm so glad this is December 18th. My God, Saturday morning. So glad a lot of you guys woke up and are joining me on this. Uh, I'm so glad I'm building this show a little bit, not as big as, of course, Real Crime Stories with Phil Grimaldi. Phil's the famous. He's the Joe Pesci of this show, And I tried to see if he was available this morning, but he's a busy guy. He's got 3 daughters. They got him running all over the place, so he couldn't join me. Factual breakdown. Bill, my Shannon Lee calls them fossils and wants to know why people unsafe to drive on the roads are making decisions. You're right. I'm making legal decisions, right? Decisions affecting the country. 100%. You're right. These folks are they are fossils. You know who just retired? The Democratic Senator Leahy. He'd been around forever. Nice guy. I actually met him once. We were on some island. I was with my father-in-law and my kids and everything, and he was there with his family. And I met him. He was actually back in the in the heyday. He was a prosecutor. He was a former prosecutor, but he had been there forever too. So finally, he's retiring. There's many old congressmen from both sides, and I would imagine, it's a difficult job. It seems like it's a part-time job though, because they're not there all the time. They're free to pursue other things. Many of them have law practices. That's the other thing. I think that sort of to be a congressman or a senator, you probably should have a law degree, because that's what you're doing. You're making laws. So shouldn't you be able to have to understand the law in order to make laws? Or else maybe you should have like an outstanding career in some other field that you could bring your knowledge from that field to help make laws and to have more or less feel what the average citizen feels. But the other thing I was going to talk about today was the other Cuomo on CNN, Chris Cuomo. He was fired from CNN, and he was fired because sort of what we're talking about here. He used like insider information that journalists have to find out about his brother's accusers and build a strategy for his brother to fight against his accusers. And that to me is pretty dirty. That's pretty dirty pool that he could use those connections as a journalist and to try to dig up dirt on his brother's accusers in order to help his brother fight that. And his brother ultimately decided not to fight it. He resigned, and he was he had to get deposed and questioned by the state attorney general's investigators in a deposition, and he didn't look like he really appreciated that during the deposition. When the powerful get questioned, they really do not care for the questions, and you could see it. You could see it on their faces. I'll put a little bit of Andrew Cuomo's his deposition up on the screen. and we'll see when the powerful get questioned, they start trying to become the questioners, you know.
Said you were appointed by the Attorney General.
That's the title that we've been given as the Special Deputy, the First Deputy Attorney General.
But you said you're a special deputy appointed by the Attorney General.
Appointed by an order by you, and the Attorney General selected us.
But you're counsel to the first deputy?
We're special deputies to the First Deputy Attorney General. That's our title.
Okay.
So I was saying, the fact that you're under oath subjects you to the penalty of perjury. And although this is a civil investigation, the Attorney General's office has criminal enforcement powers. And as a result, you have the right not to answer questions if you believe it will incriminate you. Do you
I
understand
understand. As a former Attorney General, I'm aware of the Attorney General's power. I'm aware of the special prosecutor power, independent investigator power, and I understand there may be subsequent investigations to this investigation. Yes.
Understood, but I just need to, on the record,
I
make sure
understand.
we're advising you of your rights.
I understand.
And although you have a right not to answer questions that you believe may incriminate you, a refusal to answer questions under the Fifth Amendment may have consequences in civil proceedings, and it can be used against you
I
in civil
understand that
proceedings.
also.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And we have a court reporter here present and a videographer, so I know you're obviously well familiar with it, but I will try to, and if you could also try to make sure I finish my question before you answer.
Yes, sir.
And I will try to wait for a complete answer before I ask a follow-up question, and our team will do the same.
Great.
We're going to be asking you some questions about some specific dates and events, and if you don't remember a specific name or time or date, please tell us. But if you do have a general recollection, we ask that you provide the general recollection of what you do remember, while noting that you may not remember certain specific.
So you could see the uncomfortableness of him being questioned. A powerful man. Oh my God. I was the Attorney General. I was the governor. Yes, I know these laws, and I am an attorney. So, yeah, I mean, at the Montana Sunset, some think they're above the law. Peter Pranzo, he says, "Hey, Bill, it looks like a court scene from The Godfather." You're right. You're right. He looks a little like Sollozzo, the guy who had the meeting with Michael and Captain McCluskey in that little place that had the best veal in the city. He looked like that. But, it's like he got a reputation as governor, not an undeserved one, as a rather large bully. And he bullied people by threatening them behind the scenes. And no one likes a bully, and that's, when you see his arrogance, and then the fact that, this whole thing, writing a book, on state time. I don't know if you guys know that or not from the state. There was a state trooper who was a police officer, a state trooper, who was dating Andrew Cuomo's daughter. And he found out about it. And he transferred the guy so far up near Canada that the guy would not be able to see his daughter anymore, because it would be a 6 or 8 hour trip. So that's the kind of guy this guy is. And then when he was asked about it, he laughed. So funny. We should be able to transfer him to Canada somewhere, But he thought it was very funny. And yeah, it's very funny, Governor, And the other thing is his brother, Chris Cuomo, which everyone calls Fredo. And he took great umbrage at that when a guy called him Fredo in public. He was like, "That's a racial slur." No, it's not. Fredo just means the useless brother. It's not a racial slur. Fredo was the guy in The Godfather who was the useless brother. That's where it comes from. It's not a racial slur. He tried to say it's the equivalent of using the N-word. No, I don't think it is. Anyway, he was fired from CNN, which isn't a great news station to begin with, but he was fired from there, and they owe him $18 million in his contract. So he's going to be fighting to get that 18 million from CNN. And I will bet you down the road, CNN caves and pays him, because does anyone here believe that CNN didn't know what he was doing to help his brother? He practically announced it on the air. So if they knew what he was doing, they may have to pay him. They owe him 18 million. He's he's such a man of the people. He was making 6 million a year. So I guess they owe him three more years of his contract. I can't even imagine CNN making that much money. Who watches it? I don't know. I don't watch CNN. I can't watch it for more than a few seconds. But CNN now is supposedly changing up, and they're going to change their whole style. We'll see that. So, folks, it's so great to talk to all you guys on this Saturday morning with Coffee with Cannon. I got my own cup here. There we go. Police off the cuff, and the dipped in butter logo, of course. And we got some great shows coming up on the 21st. I have Jim Ryder is coming on from the Feel Good Foundation. And that's a foundation that was it's designed to collect money for people still suffering from the ill effects of their response to 9/11. So he's going to come on. Jim Ryder is the brother of the Nassau County Police Commissioner. So it's going to be, that'll be a great show on the 21st. On the 22nd, Kimberly Myers, bye, Bill. You said my name and I corrected my mistake for pressing wrong number 4 times. He's criminal. I'm for justice. Okay, Kimberly. I got it. I just corrected it. You pressed 4. He's criminal. I got that. Yeah, good cause, Jim Ryder, and I'm going to have him on the 21st. On the 22nd, we're going to have on Jimmy Calandra, who's from the Bath Avenue crew, an organized crime crew. We've had him on once before. He has some great stories. He's got some stories involving some organized crime figures, and he's going to come on. And these former organized crime figures love getting interviewed by the real police. And sometimes we get a little from the real police saying, "Why are you interviewing criminals?" Well, isn't that what we used to do when we were on the real police? When we were the real police, So that's why we do it. Misdemeanor, hello. You're good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been, Misdemeanor? I love the the names, some of these screen names of folks. It's really great. Sandra H, hello. Good to see you guys. This is Coffee with Cannon. Again, if you're not subscribed, please go on our YouTube, hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. We also have a Patreon. You can join and support us. And of course, our YouTube memberships where we have a whole YouTube family. They're helping us out. Brains, Bill, I'm in police off the cuffs or Coffee with Cannon, or is it police car in cuffs with coffee? No, this is Coffee with Cannon. When I'm outside, sometimes when I go on a rant, I call it Bitchin' with Bill, backyard beverage. But actually, we all came to the agreement it should be called Coffee with Cannon. So that's what it is, Coffee with Cannon. And when I start ranting, I'll call it Bitching with Bill, but that's not actually the name of the show. The name of the show is Coffee with Cannon. And Sandra H, virtual hug. Hey, Bill Cannon, Merry Christmas. Sandra H, Merry Christmas, guys. And a happy and a healthy new year. And great time of the year to be with family, be with loved ones. My son actually came home from Denver to be with us till the 29th. He's going back to Denver. I want to go travel myself soon. I want to go spend some time in Florida in January if I can, that's when I first start getting sick of the cold weather of the wintertime. I'm like, I got to get to Florida. I got to check Florida out. Linda Cosma, hello. Cannon. Okay, Sandra H. It's all right. People sometimes spell my name Canon. That's the camera, but no, I'm the double N, Cannon. And for you Irish people, canon law is the law of the Catholic Church. That's, I think, also spelled Canon, People sometimes say, what's your name? I say, Cannon, like the gun, Annie C, my girl's coming home from university tomorrow. That's great. That's great. I always remember when college, right before the holidays, was when all your papers were due. You had to take final exam. It was a little bit stressful, right? And when that was over, when the exams were over and your papers, you turned in all your papers. Andy the Gabby Cabby, good to see you. Thanks for the $5 super chat, Andy. I was just showing your mug. Here we go. I don't. If I put it a little closer, you can see the Andy the Gabby Cabby. Factual breakdown just sent this to me. This was wrapped so well that there was no chance of it breaking. It was wrapped amazingly well. And thank you so much, Factual Breakdown. Lorraine, the real name. And yeah, so Andy the Gabby Cabby is going to be on the 22nd. How cool is that? You know, we call that in the podcasting business cross-pollination. We try to help each other out, go on each other's shows. And my number one benefactor in 2021 was Duty Ron. He more or less taught me a lot about how to be a YouTuber, you know, how to have a show on YouTube. And I owe him a lot of gratitude because he helped me tremendously. There's a lot to this. And, you know, folks in our age, we're not all that, what do I say, technology savvy. I'm as good as I can be at the computer. When I have real problems, I got to grab one of my kids, say, hey, please help me with this. I'm lost. You know, there's so many damn things that could go wrong. So, but how do you, you know, when I went back to college in 2000, right? And I was going for my master's degree at John Jay College. And I just learned how to use the computer. I had horrible computer skills. I didn't know how to cut and paste. I really didn't even have a working knowledge of Word. I was just learning Microsoft Word. And had I had zero computer skills, I would have been totally lost. I would have just quit school. Somehow I 2-finger typed and I got through it, my papers and all of that stuff. And I made it through and I got my master's degree in 4 years while I was working in Manhattan North Homicide Squad. You know, how I did that was amazing, you know, and while being married, having 2 kids, being dad and all that other stuff, it's crazy. Anna Shapolovsky, I'm running to start my shift at work. Haven't seen many here in a bit. Bill, thank you for the podcast. I'm going to get the coffee cup with my next paycheck. Stay safe all. I miss watching. Thank you, Anna. God bless and have a wonderful holiday season, you know. So that was my college story. But going back to school, when you're a little older and I hadn't been in college, and God, at that time it was I guess it was over 20 years. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not so easy. Sandra H. Duty Ron is not afraid of anyone except maybe Mrs. Duty Ron. That's for sure, right? They have that wooden thing in the kitchen, the roller, right? You could get hit with the roller. So everyone looking forward to the holidays. I want to, you know, again, I'm going to come on numerous times before the new year, but I just, when you guys are watching, listening, I just want to thank all of you for all the support you've given to Police Off the Cuff during 2021. And we're looking forward to a great 2022. It's a lot of work doing this, believe it or not. Some of the behind the scenes work is what is the most time consuming. Schmitty, Bill, we Sagittarians rock. I'm the same way with playing with words. People call me Witty Schmitty many times. My birthday, Schmitty, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, I'll spare everyone from singing the whole song because everyone knows the happy birthday tune. Schmitty, God bless. Happy birthday. My grandmother used to say, may you have many returns from the day, many happy returns from the day. Factual breakdown. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We love Police Off the Cuff and Andy, the Gabby Cabby, for sure. Dawn Marie, thank you for all you do for us. We really appreciate that. Kathy Bates is wishing Schmitty a happy birthday. You know, this becomes like a little community, this Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories, Coffee with Cannon. And I'm glad all you guys get along so well in the chat because not every chat does, you know. Sometimes people in the chat are like arguing with each other. But we have good moderators too, like Dawn Marie, doing a fantastic job. Alicia B, there's a lot to YouTube behind the scenes, things you don't understand always looks easier than reality. Yeah, everything always looks easy, you know. There's that old expression, if it was so easy, everyone would do it, right? everyone would do it, but everyone's not doing it because it's not that easy. But so a lot of things going on. We're gonna, we I don't know if you guys were watching at the other. We had the Red, White, and Bethune. We had Kyle and Jen Bethune on. What a great couple, huh? I cannot believe the life they lead. Driving around the country in a I always want to say Winnebago in a a custom home, and they drive around with their three kids going all over the world. That's tough. That's got to be tough. You're with your kids 24/7. You're with your spouse 24/7. It's got to be. You got to be like, oh my god, I got to get away. I got to get away. But those folks, Jen and Kyle Bethune, were the ones who found Gabby Petito's van, resulting in thank you, Linda Cosma. She said that's a fantastic interview. Thank you so much. They found her van, resulting in, of course, the recovery of her remains, which made a lot of things better for the family, that they could have a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit of closure. And, that when you think of the tragedy of that whole case, the whole that she lost her life, Brian Laundrie apparently killed himself. His mother and father, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, I'm sure will never be the same. I mean, they got a lot of disdain and hatred from the social media crowd, and then of course Gabby Petito's family, just devastating. Two families ruined by this, and Rains, Bill, did you have a nickname in the department? Yes, I told it one time, but it's sort of a joke. I used to tell my anti-crime cops to call me the Supreme Commander. So that was just sort of a joke, but that's what they call me, the Supreme Commander. And there's always has to be a sense of humor in all things policing. Believe me, cops have Vincent Collins, thank you so much. He says, I love this podcast. Thank you. Appreciate that. Cops have such a great sense of humor. Cops are some of the funniest people on this earth. And I was privileged to have worked with the NYPD for almost 27 years. Wow. 27 years. And then I retired and I went right to a full-time job teaching college. And I did that full-time for 5 years. And then I decided I was going to be an actor, a stand-up comic, and a podcaster. And here I am. Here I am doing this. And I put acting and stand-up comedy on the back burner for a while. But one day again, I'll get back up on the screen and I'll get back on the stage and do some more. Annie C, my workmates call me the Oracle. Yes, Alicia B, this Christmas will be tough for the Gabby Petito's family, 100%. Guys, I'm coming up on 45 minutes. I didn't want to stay on this long, but I get carried away when I'm with you guys. It's almost, I get a free therapy session. I get to talk to you guys. You guys are my therapist. And I feel so much better when I go off the air after I've spoken to you guys for 35, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But I don't want to keep you here all day. I know you got things to do. This is the holiday season. You got shopping to do. You got cooking to do. You got food to eat. You got cookies to eat, right? I can't stop eating those chocolate chip cookies, and you got wine to drink later on tonight, right? So, guys, I want to just thank everyone for joining me today. And I want you to stay safe and enjoy the holiday season. And this is Bill Cannon from Coffee with Cannon signing off right now. Have a great day and God bless.